Are you ready to scream 3, 2, 1? C4D Halloween Horror Tutorial. Officially open the coffin. When you see that the replacement deformer of the blender can be controlled by the object. As a C4D user, a question mark pops up as to whether C4D has never seen such an operation. Today, I will solve the problem of this century for you. I'm going to show you what's possible with this technique. It works basically the same as the blender. Hey Max and development team, if you guys swipe this video, please close this technical loophole. By the way, you can download my C4D file from my Patreon. I shared a lot of practical and interesting C4D cases there. To start officially entering today's teaching time, first create a model. It can be any model, temporarily replaced by a sphere to increase the number of polygonal surfaces. Object Panel searches for displacer deformers by Shift+C and specifies them as children. Switch to Shading Panel and load Noise Map. Click the mouse to preview the image to enter the parameter control. First, switch the noise type to Voronoi 1. The number of polygonal surfaces in the model is not enough, and the accuracy needs to be improved to see better details. Adjusting the size of the noise and the replacement height can be negative. After simply adjusting the parameters, you get such a sphere with a displacement effect. And then we hopefully click on the noise parameters inside the deformer. And they went crazy looking for the parameter that they could control with the object. And then you discern why the C4D didn't have this capability. This is the true usage scenario of the vast majority of C4D users. Because that's how I researched and gained the corresponding experience before I shared it with you guys. Create a null object panel and change the size and display color. Select the null object with the right mouse button and add the espresso tag. I have two sets of technical solutions. First, introduce the first simple version. Select the shader and switch to the shading panel and click the small triangle under shader parameters. Add a layer filter, then click the preview image to enter the parameters panel. Click on the effect panel and add the transform. Click the up arrow to exit the current layer operation. Select the null object, hold down the left mouse button, and drag and drop it to the espresso operation panel. Select the displacer, mouse over the preview, and drag it to espresso. Select null and output position and scale as control parameters. Select layer node to move as position and scale as input port. Connect the output to the input one by one. Rename the null object to the controller. Selecting an empty object and moving the Z-axis will find that the effect is wrong. The wrong effect means that the mapping range is wrong. This problem is easily solved by using a range mapping node. Create to range maps to control position and size, respectively. Reset the value of the upper limit of the control position to 0.01. Now moving any XYZ axis of the empty object will affect the movement of the noise. Select the empty object controller and change the modeling mode to object mode. Then I pin the coordinate parameters and zoom in to see the parameters change. The position and magnitude of the noise is now completely controlled by the empty object. If you look closely, you will find a problem. That is, the axial offset to a certain distance seems to have attenuation. At this point, a second technical solution is required to solve the problem. Add distorter to existing layers. This operation will cause the original node loaded into espresso to be lost. Ignore it for now. Click distorter to load the color information at the bottom. Default white is fine. Here you can see that there are XYZ parameters, which can be used by us. Delete the missing node and pull the distorter into the espresso interface. Now you need to control XYZ separately. You don't even need to use the range mapping node now. I'll tell you why later. Now the same problem occurs. That is, the mapping range is wrong. Fortunately, the distorter effect comes with an amount parameter instead of range mapping. If you use this method, there will be no attenuation effect. Pull the layer transform into the Espresso settings node control. Connect the scale output of the empty object to the scale of the layer transform. Scaling an empty object tests whether the entire binding runs correctly. Everything seems to be working correctly, which is a good sign. It's not complicated. It just takes a little bit of imagination. It just so happens that I love working on these graph transfers. If you think my video is useful to you, please remember to like, comment, share. Thank you. The jack-o'-lanterns are off, and the moonlight is still there. Happy Halloween! C4D will continue to trick or treat next year.